Hey guys, it's Tina Swithin and I am in my new little office. It is similar to a she shed, as many people are familiar with that term. I've been renting offices around town for many years, and I recently had an opportunity to purchase a little unit and put it on our property, which makes it so much easier to do this, to be home for my family, and I have zero commute. So I'm really excited about that. You'll be hearing a lot more from me. Today, what I wanted to talk about is the narcissist and the holidays. How are you coping? It's a phenomenon that a lot of people struggle to understand, but these individuals spiral like crazy during the holidays. It is a real thing. It's essentially like having a full moon every single day. And depending on the type of person that you're specifically dealing with, it can start as early as October. As soon as fall decorations start going up, I feel like it's a little trigger for them going, oh no, the holiday season is here. It just boom, boom, boom. Some of them start really early. Some of them start around Thanksgiving. People are starting to get festive and be happy. It took me quite a few years to really put my finger on it. What in the heck is happening? But I can see absolute patterns, and it's not just my case. My coaching, consulting practice, my calendar is absolutely jam-packed all of November and December. Part of that is logistics, trying to figure out holiday vacations. Maybe your court orders aren't as solid and tight as they should be. So there's lots of gray areas, which we all know is, narcissists are drawn to gray areas like a magnet. And so you've got all of those just regular logistical things, but then it's the holidays in general make them crazy. I know last December 21st and 22nd, even though my ex-husband has been completely removed from our lives for years, my phone got blown up over a 2-day period, and it was pictures of him with my daughters telling me how evil I am, telling me that I'm going to pay one day for what I've done, that my daughters are going to see through me. And of course, that's the alienation stuff coming in, which really doesn't sit well with me because my daughters have their own journey and experience. And to tell them that what they went through wasn't real, that hits a nerve with me. And so that's a whole nother topic I could get into. But the bottom line is he was spiraling to the point where just absolutely ruthless attacks. Some of them were downright cruel, even telling me that my mom's suicide was my fault, and, the whole how do you sleep at night type of thing. So put your seatbelt on. This year I am in an amazing place where I can actually block him because his rights have been terminated. So he has absolutely no hold on me anymore. And so he's blocked. If he wants to unleash on my phone, I won't even see it. But you are dealing with it, and I get how hard it is and how triggering it is. Why do they spiral? Well, for one, the world is festive and happy and joy-filled for most people, or that's the image that the media would like us to believe anyway. And the narcissist believes that image, that everybody is filled with joy and happy and festive, and all of the things that they're not capable of feeling. They can't feel joy. They can never truly have a connection with another human being that is, selfless and raw and authentic and they cannot give or receive love ever in their lives. Not the type of love that we would define as love. You know, for them, there's an end goal or a gain in it, or, you know, they're buying you things, and them love bombing you and giving you material items. That is love to them. So it's a skewed perception of the word. But at the end of the day, they really don't have the capacity to feel what the media is telling them that they should be experiencing and feeling. And so they tend to really go down a dark path and lash out at you, because if they're feeling bad, they need to make sure you're feeling bad as well. So what do you do to survive it? You know, for one, your boundaries have to be rock solid. If you're dealing with a narcissistic family member, you have the ability to have rock solid boundaries or to completely shut them out. If you're in a shared parenting situation, you obviously can't go to that extent, but you can still have boundaries within reason. Knowing your truth is so important. If you know your truth, then the attacks, you know, my ex-husband telling me that my mother's suicide was my fault, I know my truth. I know that my mom had lived a very troubled life, mental illness, drug addiction. Her journey was her own journey, completely separate from mine, and that is my truth. When you know your truth, you're less likely to be triggered. Managing your expectations. If you expect this person to act and be like a normal person, you're setting yourself up for disaster, for defeat, for disappointment. And so, you know, really, what are your expectations around this person? They should not be high. Let's start there. And lastly, considering the source. You are educated on NPD. You know what you're dealing with in that package. And so really being realistic about who that is, it kind of goes hand in hand with managing your expectations. What we had talked about with someone who has NPD, they aren't capable of love. They aren't capable of empathy. And so really knowing your opponent is going to help you get through this holiday season. There are two more items that are so critical. One is compartmentalizing. Compartmentalizing your battle, compartmentalizing the narcissist. It doesn't mean that you're in denial about what you're dealing with, but it does mean that you put it up on a shelf and enjoy your life, your holidays, your, day-to-day experiences without being consumed by this other person. Denial would be you're putting it up on the shelf and forgetting that it exists and going on and just completely ignoring it. That can cause problems if there's a huge trigger. Ideally you would compartmentalize it and only deal with it on the days that you're scheduled to deal with it. Let's say you typically respond to emails 2 times a week to the narcissist. So you're dealing with it, but the rest of the days it should not be your life. Where you do need to deal with it is on your therapist's couch. Denial is completely, it doesn't exist, I'm in my own world, blah, blah, blah. That's not realistic. You need to be taking that box off the shelf in a safe place, unpacking it, exploring the contents, and making sure that you're doing the work so that you can put it back up on the shelf and compartmentalize it so it doesn't consume you. The last one, and probably one of the most important, is radical acceptance. Is this fair? Absolutely not. Should we have to be spending our holidays dealing with this type of person? Absolutely not. I will give you that. But is it our reality? Yeah, it is. For whatever reason, it is the path we are on right this minute. And so radically accepting that from the depths of your soul, and instead of the would'ves, could'ves, should'ves, and, why me, this isn't fair. It's not fair, but it's our reality. And so practicing radical acceptance with a qualified therapist is so important to you staying sane this holiday season. I wanted to take a minute to thank each and every one of you. My family has had a really big year. After 10 years in family court, my ex-husband's parental rights were terminated in November. And so I have a lot to be grateful for, but one of the things I am incredibly grateful for is all of the support that I've had from the One Mom's Battle community, from my Lemonade sisters, the women who have come to my retreats. I don't know that I could have gotten through this as unscathed as I have, because that support really lifted me up during the dark times and encouraged me to keep going. And so, at times it felt like a lot of pressure. I've got all these people cheering me on, and, I'd get there in the courtroom and I would forget what I was going to say, and I would be riddled with PTSD and anxiety, and I would, leave the courthouse saying, oh my gosh, I feel like a fraud. All of these people think I'm this amazing warrior mom, when the reality is I was just a, bumbling idiot up there on the stand. But I am absolutely grateful to each and every one of you who has cheered me on. If you aren't subscribed to our channel, please do. I'm going to try to do more of this now that I have a little setup and an area to actually do filming. So be sure to subscribe so you are notified every time we release a video. Take care. Happy holidays, everyone.